How's it going, guys? Welcome to the first top 5 after the new mini set came out. It's been less than 2 days since the new mini set came, but we already have some amazing stats thanks to HS Replay Premium, so in this video I will be able to show you what are the best decks so far, how the meta is forming, what class has what decks, and all of that good stuff. So if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hammer some Hearthstone coaching. And also, some of you already saw, we have a huge partnership with HS Replay, which is honestly an absolute honor since I have been using Deck Tracker for as long as I have been using Hearthstone, and it has definitely been a dream come true to actually be working with the talented people over at HS Replay. So if you want to support the channel for free and you still haven't gotten Deck Tracker, I mean, what are you waiting for? Download it for free from my download link and play Hearthstone the way it's supposed to. Now, let's get into the decks.
You are not prepared!
The first deck on the list is actually gonna be exactly the deck I showed you guys yesterday, and this was the third deck I played live on stream after the mini set came out, and it is indeed really strong as long as it curves out properly. Right now this is actually the best variant of the deck, and yeah, here we are. We literally played this yesterday and we did quite well with it too. Like, I think I had 70+% win rate or something, and the deck is super strong as long as you don't actually get all of your big men before turn 5 or 6, which would be pretty brutal, but it did actually happen to us. So yeah, I already showed you a guide about this deck yesterday, so you can definitely look at that one if you want to know exactly what you want to be doing with this, and the only new card here we have is Sigil of Cinder, which is basically a 2-mana fireball, but it can also go to enemies. The cool thing about this card is it actually prevents the opponent from feeling too good about not playing anything against you, because that is kind of how they play around your big Illidari Inquisitors and Briar spawns. But if they do that, you can just clap them with a little bit of Sigil of Cinder action, which is by no means lethal threatening or anything like that, but it is definitely a nice little bit of chunk of extra damage, and if the opponent don't do much for quite a while, I mean, you are just gonna play 8-mana Inquisitors at some point, so there's that too. So yeah, the main gist of the deck is in the first turns you want to be controlling with the deck, you want to be drawing your Fate Trickster, which can be drawing you your Cliff Dive, you want to have yourself a weapon ready so you can actually start slapping with the Illadaris as soon as turn 5 or 6, depending if you have the coin or not, and that usually is way too much damage way too early for most opponents. Again, definitely check out my video about it if you want to see the deck in action. Matchup wise, we don't have that much stats just yet, but you will be strong against two of the best decks in the game right now, which are Imbue Druid and Imbue Hunter. And yeah, that's definitely a very big thing to be good against right now, because these are indeed a couple of the big bullies of the meta. For the mulligan, the name of the game is you want to be getting a little bit of card draw, the Face Trickster, straight up Cliff Dive, a weapon would be awesome, the Wavier Slumber, that kind of stuff. Sigil is also pretty good, Illidari can be great, and so on and so forth. And on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff, and Cliff Dive here becomes even more important because it's going to be awesome for you to be playing this as soon as turn 5. For other good Demon Hunter decks, this is indeed the best deck in the game right now according to the stats. Almost 500 games, almost 63% win rate, like you can't go much higher than that without calling it absolutely broken. The old traditional big Demon Hunter is still out there too, but as you see, it's a little bit too slow nowadays and not as good against things like Imbue Hunter and Imbue Druid, so definitely would rather go with the deck I just showed you. On the number 2 spot, obviously we also gotta include Imbue Hunter, and I did actually try a few games with a variant of Imbue Hunter on day 1, but I was actually a little bit too stupid to actually make it work. I don't know, I think I was too greedy with the Imbue cards, it definitely seems like it, whereas we can see here it is a lot more streamlined, it's nothing but a King Plush thing, and it makes a lot of sense too. Like, you really don't want to be having too much other beasts in this deck, because the whole point is just making a bunch of cheap big King Plushes, copying them with the new cards, which is attending Dragonkin, and just slapping him in the mouth over and over again. And it usually takes a couple of times, nothing too fancy either. It's kind of cool, this deck doesn't even run the Brewmasters anymore. I guess the tendings are just so much better now. And yeah, the deck is just kind of broken. If you're not quick enough, if you don't curve out well enough, King Plush is just kind of inevitable. I've heard people die on turn 5 and 6, and I definitely have heard people dying on turn 8. So yeah, the deck is maybe a little bit too strong, maybe, and for a nerf, would not put it beyond it. It's running some interesting cards like Sleepy Resident, and this is gonna give you a lot of extra time, because you basically block the opponent for a turn this way. We also have things like Spirit Bond, which is a pretty cool card, giving you a lot of extra removal. The new Battle Picker helps you a lot with the card draw. The Bursting Shot is pretty cool. useful as a control tool for you in the early turns. Just don't forget this thing cannot go on the same target twice. It's always have to be random enemies. So if there's only 2 targets, it's only gonna deal 4 damage, and so on and so forth. And the rest of the deck is pretty standard stuff. We have a couple of glacial shards, so you can freeze some opponents. And yeah, the rest, you basically know what it's supposed to be. For the matchups, I was expecting a little bit more stats, if I gotta be honest, and apparently it's gonna be 50-50 against Imbued Druid. And in the Imbued Druid matchup, the Imbued Druid has to be fast. Like, if the Imbued Druid takes its time, they're just gonna get king plushed around turn 6, 7, that kind of stuff, and they're gonna have a full hand of medium-sized green men, and that's gonna be pretty sucky for them. For the mulligan, here's what people have been holding onto: Exotic Houndmaster, the Bitterbloom Knight, fetch, tracking, birdwatching, basically the cheap stuff, you get it. And this is when going first. When going second, however, you could also hold on to things like a little bit more removal, like the bursting shot I expect is a bit more keepable going second if you're expecting early game boards, things like Moonprey perhaps, I don't know. Kinda depends on the matchup really, but I would not be a stranger to holding on to a little bit of more removal here. And for other Hunter decks, we can see several different iterations. This is the one I'm showing you, almost as good as the Demon Hunter, but we can also see some other iterations with decent sample sizes, like this one for instance is super populated. Again, looks pretty similar. This one has all you can eat, so you have even better odds of getting King Plush ASAP. And it's also tons of card draw, because you have things like elementals, things like dragons, that kind of stuff. So it is pretty decent, but I'm really not sure if it's worth running Ranger Gilly just for the sake of having all you can eat. Kinda feels weird to me if I gotta be honest, but it is what it is. It definitely does look it's nothing but imbued hunters, however, so yeah, for now, I guess that is what the class identity is for Hunter. On number 3 spot we have Menagerie Death Knight, and here I'm not even sure we have any new cards. Menagerie Death Knight is just a straight up in-your-face kind of deck. Very quick, very efficient, and very good against Imbue Hunter, I'd assume. You basically build early game boards nice and quick, chip the opponent's face, and then finish him off from hand with things like your Corpsicles, your Infested Breaths, your Foam Renders, that kind of stuff, and that usually is enough to make most people stop kicking. I do have a guide about this deck from before the mini set, so you can definitely take a look at that one if you want to know how to play this one. And now let's see how the deck actually fares against the current meta, and yeah, that is the big takeaway here. Imbue Hunter just rolls over and dies against this deck, and that is very good. Bounce Rogue is also gonna be your bitch, but Imbue Druid is gonna be a little bit too hard for ya. What people have been holding on to, name of the game is Curve Out. Curve Stone is real with this one, so get yourself 1 or 2 good 1-drops, some of the good 2-drops. Yeah, Brittlebone would be pretty amazing, Eliza would be pretty okay if you're curving into her, Observer of Mysteries if you're curving into him, that kind of stuff. And on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff, so mulligan accordingly. For other good Death Knight decks, this is the one I'm showing you, almost 1000 games, almost 62% win rate, like you can't really ask for much more than that. We also have some other Leech Menagerie Death Knight doing okay, a lot smaller sample size. Here's an even worse win rate, but a lot more sample size variant of it. Not very different if we gotta be honest, so it's kinda weird how lower the win rate here is. I don't even see what exactly is the different card here. Honestly, it looks exactly the same. Okay, this one has 1 Rainbow Seamstress, and this one has 1 extra Harbinger of Winter. Pretty interesting, but I guess this way you get to actually heal a little and have a little bit more reaction, so the Seamstress might be onto something. We can also see things like Leech Death Knight, Handbuff Death Knight, not as hot anymore, but yeah, all around you have stuff to be playing with Death Knight. On the number 4 spot, it's another deck I showed you right after the mini set came out, and this would be Imbue Druid. And I gotta say, this deck is just a lot stronger now. It definitely had some pretty nice cards included to it, and the main card really is Shard Chameleon. This card is absolutely MVP in this deck because it allows you to actually do something with your big man as soon as you get him, which was the big downside to this deck. Like, it had literally no amazing recoverability, and with the Shard Chameleon, things are a lot better for you now. The other cool cards we are using here is again the Petal Picker, helping you with the card draw a wee bit. Amadrasil is quite the value powerhouse, but it's kind of weird honestly. It's not gonna work against matchups where you're trying to tempo, so keep that in mind. But against lower value matchups, it's definitely pretty cool. And here, the other thing I'm noticing is they're not using the stupid Firak. I gotta say, Firak has shat on my face so many times it's not even funny. The card is fun and all, but it's more fun for the opponent in most cases. It feels like it is just a freaking wild card is what it is. Whereas Malorn is a lot more streamlined, a lot more controlled. Even if you get shit out of him, you're not gonna have to play that shit. Like, I literally played the freaking Ferak and it discarded my Shaldrasil. Like, fuck me, man. So yeah, this Imbued Druid is probably the best variant of the deck. Again, you could check out my guide and gameplay from yesterday if you want to see the deck in action with some of the new cards. For the matchups, we can see Imbued Hunter is gonna roll over against you, and other Imbued Druids apparently. It's kind of weird when they show these stats, but information is a little bit scarce for now. And for the mulligans, you're trying to curve out with the cheap spells. You want to get your early game imbue stuff. I would say Dreambound Disciple is super amazing, especially if you're curving into it in a lot of cases. Trail Mix can allow you to do a lot of broken things. Horn of the Plenty could be a Trail Mix on a stick, or a lot of other things on a stick for that matter. So yeah, these would be the picks when going first. And when going second, I'd say Dreambound Disciple becomes even better because you have one extra coin. So that is one extra tick for the imbue stuff, and that helps big time. We can see all sorts of other iterations of Imbue Druid for the class right now. Nothing other really is sparking joy. Here's the Malorn stuff, here's the Ferak stuff. Still, nothing to scoff at, honestly. I think this is the one I played, so well, it's close to it. It didn't have photosynthesis, I think. But yeah, Ferak is a little bit weird, honestly. Maybe it's actually this one. I think it was exactly this one, yeah. So definitely not horrible. 15,000 games, 58% win rate. Whereas this one, a lot smaller sample size, but a lot more win rate, so there's that. And the last deck on the list is gonna be good old Shaldrasil Pally. Nothing beats Shaldrasil Pally. It's still good, guys. Like, shocking, I know. It's still good. I really believe a few balance changes should have gone through straight up with the mini set. I believe this is the sad reality we're living in right now. Like, in order for new cards to see play, old cards just need to keep on getting toned down. It's a 10-year-old card game, guys. What else could it be? The power creep is real in this one, and every time new cards emerge, they either have to be absolutely broken, or the other old broken cards need to get toned down. No, nothing in between, and it is a very scary reality, but the reality nonetheless. Anyway, this is the aggressive Shaldrasil Pally with Crusader Aura and Flash Sale and that kind of stuff, and yeah, the meta has been shifting towards this deck for the past few weeks. I did show you quite a few iterations of this deck in the last week of the old meta, and it's still a part of the new meta, so anybody who crafted it probably is going to be getting a lot of easy ranks, but probably not for long, because this deck just needs to get nerfed at some point soon. I wonder how they're going to nerf it. Shaldrasil up to 8 mana? That ought to do it. That is going to break so many combos, though. I doubt they're going to do something like that, but maybe the cards from Shaldrasil might get toned down or something. Anyway, no need to talk about it too much. Let's see how it fares against the other matchups. Imbue Hunter is going to be pretty good for you. Imbue Druid, however, 50-50, same with Bounce Rogue. And for the mulligans, again, curve out with the nice cheap minions. Get the whiteboard, buff the whiteboard, slap the whiteboard into the opponent's mouth. And on the coin, again, same stuff. For other good Pally decks, we can also see Menagerie Pally with a very small sample size, however. I think this is the one I'm showing you right now. Very good sample size, very high win rate. Here's another iteration with the Nagas instead of the Righteous Protectors. Again, I have video for exactly these two decks. And we can also see the Drunk Pally stuff with Sunsnapper Lannis, that this doesn't even have Ursol. There's also a variant with it with Ursol, and so on and so forth. For the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Mage, and what is this Mage you guys speak of? Mage is nowhere to be seen. The mini set did not give it all that much, it seems, so for now, Mage is on the bench. It's gonna take a while for this to populate, but I will be giving you an updated top 5 probably in a couple of days from now, so you guys can see how the meta is shaping, how the meta is forming. With Priest, I cannot believe this. I saw people still complain Zareen Priest was too strong, and apparently it is strongent. I did not expect the meta to be this unfavorable for Zareen Priest, but apparently it is. I guess Imbue Hunter is just way too quick for this deck. Like, this deck pops off around turn 7, turn 8, whereas Imbue Hunter pops out around turn 6, turn 7, so there's that indeed. But yeah, right now Zarimi seems to be the best bet for now. With Rogue, I honestly believe that Weapon Rogue would have been quite the powerhouse, and to be fair, it is back, but not as back as I thought. The weapon stuff is just not as amazing. Yeah, something along these lines apparently is the sad reality for this deck. Let me see if this is the exact one I played. Yeah, amazing. Well, what can I say, guys? It was a shot in the dark in the end of the day. A lot of people were excited for the weapon rogue, but apparently it's just not as broken as I thought it would be. Sometimes Hearthstone happens like that. What can you do? Other than that, we can see iterations of Bounce Rogue doing quite well, but you gotta be very streamlined into the bouncy stuff. This one is the Asha main variant. We also have a Firak variant, which is kind of interesting, very small sample size, and we have a lot more toned down win rate with a decent sample size here with this iteration with Firak again. Protoss Rogue also up there apparently. For Shamans, again, nothing too shamany to speak of. Let's move down to Warlocks, same deal, and with Warrior, wow, we actually have some Warrior stuff, but it's only Taunt Warrior doing somewhat okay and not by much. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for this top 5. Thanks again for HS Replay for sponsoring the channel, and thank them for providing us with these amazing stats for this long. Like, honestly, I could not be doing what I'm doing without them providing such excellent service, and I'm really thankful for that. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be awesome. And don't forget you can hammer some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris 05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.